gentlemen, especially for those of you who've attended this conference before, you will have noticed that it's quietly shifted away from sounding like an academic conference. And it discusses very hands-on, in a very hands-on way, not just hot topics, but things that were previously difficult to talk about. But all those things are part of our ambit. And now, for our keynote speaker, I'd like to tell you a little bit about her. She is a 2-time Academy Award-winning filmmaker, any guesses? Whose films have impacted legislative change. Since 2001, she has made over 24 multi-award-winning films in over 16 countries around the world. And in 2022, she infused her signature style with verisimilitude that she brings to her nonfiction projects, to her narrative directorial debut for Marvel's critically acclaimed series, Miss Marvel. The New York Times included her episodes in its annual Best Episodes of TV list, calling them ingenious and surprising, moving. Ladies and gentlemen, please give her a warm welcome. Our favorite filmmaker from Pakistan, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy.
Amplify my voice, and now it is my turn to amplify the voice of countless people who are creating change.
Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is one of the most fantastic filmmakers.
She's a Pakistani director, journalist, and activist.
Really one of our great cultural leaders in the world of film and TV and media.
Sharmeen's remarkable career has been devoted to spotlighting ignored human stories and holding those in power to account.
A new Disney Plus series features the first Muslim superhero in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and is now one of the highest-rated shows of its kind.
When Miss Marvel came around, I thought about what she would mean to millions of people around the world who would see a reflection of themselves in her.
Star Wars is returning, and the film will be directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, winner of 2 Academy Awards for documentary shorts.
She's the first Pakistani to win an Oscar.
The Pakistani Prime Minister has said that he will change the law on honor killing after watching this film. That is the power of film.
Good morning, everyone, and assalamu alaikum. All right, for those who know me, know that I sometimes bring a sobering reality to events. So let me start off by saying that these are the best of times for Pakistan and the worst of times. And Pakistan, as you know, is adept at navigating both. I'm reminded this morning of a school I visited in SWAT shortly after the war in 2010. The sound of Allama Iqbal's poetry filled the air as hundreds of girls stood in long rows, their hairs braided in 2 plaits, symbolizing their resilience and their rightful claim to an education. These young women were not simply students, they were living testaments to their own worth and potential. At the forefront of this scene was Gulle Khandana, their fearless leader. She had stood boldly at the school gates, facing down militants and who were threatening to reduce their sanctuary of learning to ashes. Armed only with her words and her conviction in the power of education, and in her unshakable belief that every girl has a right to learn, she defended the future. That school still stands today, continuing to educate young girls, testament to her act of valor. When I think about Pakistan and its future, and as we stand at the precipice of an era dominated by technology and advancements like artificial intelligence, I often think about the people who will forge Pakistan's future and the spirit of those people who will navigate it. It is people like Gulle Khandana, individuals who possess the vision, the courage, and unwavering resolve to defend values that most of all, who will lead us through the uncertainty of the future. Across the country, at the break of every dawn, Almas Parveen rises to tend to her farmers in Vihari. She is a female farmer in a very male-dominated area, and it is really quite a sight to behold. She drives her tractor from the front. Her passion for farming was born because of a passion her father inculcated in her. She gathers young men and women to teach them practical and sustainable agriculture practices, passing on her knowledge to build a generation of farmers who can thrive in an era of environmental challenge. Despite being self-educated, Almas understands with striking clarity that Pakistan's agricultural practices must evolve if we are to sustainably feed our population. Centuries-old methods will just not do anymore. The rich in heritage are ill-equipped to combat the future threats of climate change. In her commitment to adapt and innovate, she is a true guardian of the future, a leader who recognizes that the land we depend on requires new strategies if it is to remain viable for the next generation. And across the country in Balochistan, we see Hatim Baloch, who spends his days tending to ancient canals, preserving a legacy handed down through generations. For those who know, Balochistan is struggling with drought-like situations. This is a young man who has taken what his grandfather taught him, mastering the art of the Kare system, a timeless, sustainable method of irrigation that protects the precious water reserves beneath the earth, shielding them from the harsh sun and saving up to 90% of the evaporated water. In a land where tube wells extract costly water at the expense of fuel and pollution, Hatim's work breathes life into the land, sustaining his community and their crops. As a steward of this national system, Hatim safeguards Balochistan's resources, ensuring that its traditions and future flourish together. These are our guardians of the future, men and women who work tirelessly in these communities on the front lines every single day, risking their lives for a better tomorrow. On a football field in Quetta, dozens of Hazara girls kick the ball with unwavering determination, their faces a mix of focus and strength. Behind each player is a life marked by adversity and resilience. The Hazara Football Academy has become their sanctuary and saving grace. As Fazli, the club's dedicated mentor, explains, if a child is born in a cage, they grow up not knowing that freedom is their right. They live without the experience of the simple joys of moving freely among their own people. For girls who play at this football club, the academy is more than a club. It's a path to freedom and self-expression. On the field, they're not defined by their ethnicity or religion. They are players, athletes who compete with pride. And Fazli's relentless work in challenging traditional norms has given these young women a new identity. Beyond their commitment, beyond their communities' resilience and traditional norms, they have taken adversity and become a catalyst for change, proving that even in the most challenging times when leaders step up, there is bound to be change. When technology risks overlooking human nuances, it's leaders like Fazli who bring balance. If we are to flourish in a future that is increasingly shaped by technology, we need leaders who can navigate this landscape with both integrity and insight. These are the true guardians of the future because they understand that success is not measured in technological terms alone, but our ability to act wisely ethically, and in service of humanity. Without people of foresight and integrity, the guardians of the future, because they understand that people like Gule Khandana, Almas, and Hatem, without them, technology would be an empty vessel, a tool with no purpose beyond power. Their leadership will ensure that Pakistan will race in the future by taking everyone with them. I close with my story of Mary Gill, whose unwavering dedication to sanitation workers changed the law in Punjab 2 years ago. Through her campaign, Sweepers Are Superheroes, she highlighted cases like that of Irfan Masih, a sanitation worker who was denied medical due to the prejudice while he was saving lives. This moment pushed Mary to fight harder for sanitation workers who were targeted because of their religion in advertisements that forced Christian labels on sweepers. Thanks to her relentless work and her partnership with SOC Films, the law now prohibits religious labels in job ads for sanitation workers. Women like Mary Gill are guardians of our future, ensuring fairness in a time of rapid AI advancements. We need their human-centered advocacy now more than ever to champion the rights of workers who are the backbone of our society. The race for ethical intelligence is at its heart not just about machines who code. It is about humanity's deepest ideals and the people who will champion them. So as we all rush towards innovation, we must recognize that technology without guidance can become dangerous weapons in the hands of people who lack ethics. So compassion, or the courage to do what is right, is so important at times like this. I know that technology can risk becoming a tool of oppression rather than a beacon of progress, and I know that in all of your hands, as you champion the Pakistanis living and working on the front lines, that together we will make sure that it is something that benefits us all. We must champion the humans who are the guardians of the future. Thank you.